Today we're going to deal with marketing. I'm going to give you guys the 4 things that I've done and that I do in order to get deals coming in, to get the phones ringing. One of the first ones is yard signs. The yard signs are the signs that you see on busy intersections that's usually 24 by 18 in size. They work really well. What I would do is I will put out 100 signs a week. Now you want to work your way up to that. My recommendation is at least try to do 50 a week. Of course, it's all about finances, so don't want you guys to get in a bind, but try to work your way to at least 100 a week, and you're putting them out consistently. And of course, we're going to grow up from there. So you'll start with 100 and then gradually get to the point where you could do 200 a week. So you want to do 100 yard signs a week. They work really well. With what happens with the yard signs, the city usually pick these signs up after a couple of days of them being out. What I would do when I first start putting them out, I would kind of get familiar with the area that I was working in, and I noticed that the city would come every Wednesday morning. So what I would do is put them out Wednesday night. Now I'm not sure if they came back on a Friday or something like that. Usually the signs will hang out for a few days. And that's really all you need. You just need the signs to hang out for a little while, and it usually generate enough calls to get you a deal, to get you at least going out to properties and trying to work up on a deal. But yard signs work really well, okay? My number two is mailers. Mailers are really good. The good thing about mailers is when you send a mailer out, they go to a person's house, and that's not something that they may get rid of right away. You have chances of these mailers staying in that house, and they may not use you or call you right away, but they'll have that piece of marketing with them usually for quite some time. I've had situations where I've gotten calls way after the time that I sent mailers out, and they would let me know that they got a mailer in the mail. So they work really well. Again, it's about numbers. You want to try to get as many of these done and put out as many as you can. I think what I would pay for mailers, 5,000 is about $250. Okay, for 5,000. You want to do as many as you can. If you have to start at 5,000, that's fine. If you have to do less, that's fine too. You just want to kind of work your way up. Numbers are very important. You put out 5,000, you look at maybe getting about 10 or 15 calls out of that, and hopefully you can get a deal. Not always, but the possibility is there. But if you increase it to 10, then you're looking at maybe 30 or 40 calls at 10,000 mailers, and likely you could get 1 or 2 deals, maybe even 3 or 4 deals for something like that. Numbers, it's all about the numbers. Okay, now when it comes to these mailers, the good thing about these mailers is what I do is I go through EDDM. Okay, every door direct mail, that's through the post office. So when you do this through the post office, they charge you 16 cents for each mailer that goes out. So it's different from paying the 40 cents or whatever the stamp costs. You don't have to pay that price. You pay this price. Very important. EDDM. I'll post a video, a picture of my mailer so you can see exactly what yours need to look like. Another thing to know about this, and I need you guys to look into this, EDDM, every door direct mail. The size of the postcard that you're mailing out cannot be 4x6. It has to be bigger. The size that I use is 4x12. Now it doesn't necessarily have to be 4x12. It don't have to be as big as 12, but it has to be bigger than 4x6. So look into it and know exactly what that size need to be before you get all of those things printed up and you can't use them. Okay, very important. Another thing about the EDDM is they have it set up on a website to where you can choose to make sure that it's not commercial, it's not going to commercial properties, it don't go to an apartment complex, it sticks to single family homes. Okay, so they'll let you highlight the areas you want to put them in, and you can make sure that it's only going to houses. Very good way to market when it comes to mailing things out. EDDM, every door direct mail, mailers. Okay. Now my third is driving for dollars. Driving for dollars. Now, for those that don't know, I got my first deal driving for dollars, riding through neighborhoods looking for vacant properties. I would do this consistently every day. Okay. I would say your goal should be to try to get anywhere from 30 to 60 properties a week. Get those properties, those vacant properties. You'll know if it's vacant or not by if it's neglected. If the grass look high, you got mail piled up in the mailbox, things like that. If you're not sure, I would still get the address down. When you get back to do your research, you're looking to see if it have a separate address from the property that you found. Okay, that'll be the owner's address. That's where you want to send the letter to. Get those letters out. Your letter is simply saying that you've seen this property and that you buy houses and you're interested in purchasing this house from them, and if they want to sell. Okay, you just want to make sure that you get something out. It can be handwritten, very inexpensive way. The only real cost is having that gas, in the car. So it's very inexpensive way to market, and it's effective. It works. Got my first deal on this one, made $9,000 by driving for dollars. Okay, very good way to market. My number 4, the last way, is social media. Okay, now I know a lot of you are way better at the social media thing than I am. However, I was able to get deals through social media, so we know that worked too. You can make deals happen with social media by being consistent. You have to be. That's one thing about the internet and all of this, marketing on the internet, is the consistency. And I get caught up in a lot of my days, and sometimes I can be inconsistent. But if you are constantly on your social media, this will work really well for you if you're continuing to put information out about you buy houses. People have to know what you do. Okay, so if people are looking for services from people that are that are buying houses, they have to know that you exist. So you have to put yourself in as many places as you can that they can find you. So that's why it's important to have all of these different things going. And this is just 4. I'm sure it's a lot of other ways that other people are doing that are just as good as this, but I'm giving you my top 4 that I know works, that I've been doing, still doing, and it still works the way it worked when I first started doing it. Okay, understand, it's all about numbers. As much of this advertisement you can do it. As much as you can get out and drive for dollars, do it. As many signs as you can put out weekly, consistently, do it. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're doing as much marketing as you can in order to find deals that you don't necessarily have to compete with other people with. Okay, I hope this helped you. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a call or send me an email. Holler at me on social media, however you want to get to me. All right, thanks.